Well, good morning, friends. Today is Friday, June 7th. And we're going to do a garden tour because we haven't done one in a while. But first, I wanted to start in my kitchen with the pile of cucumbers I have already gotten out of my garden and these squash. So, yeah, let's start there. Okay, so this year, I kind of have just decided to let the garden do what it was going to do. I mean, I did some things, especially on the patio here, um, but it's just wild. Okay, so over here we've got, in these 3 pots here, we've got some columbine that I started from seed, and I used the winter sowing method for those. And I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I'm going to let them grow in these pots for the year and see what happens. Um, these are some echinacea that I started from seed. Same thing, I'm going to let them grow in these pots for a year and then I'll replant them. Here's a Rudbeckia from last year. I need to pot a couple more Rudbeckias. My clematis, I'll post some pictures because it was beautiful, but it's kind of done with its blooming for the year. My Mandevilla. This is a hydrangea that I bought. It's called, I think it's a Proven Winners Tough Stuff, Pink Stuff. I don't know. I'll find the tag. Anyway, it is a mini hydrangea. So I don't know where to put it, so I put it in this big pot for the year, and I'll decide where to put it later. In this pot here, I have some geraniums I started from seed. I think these are coral. I am not sure. We're gonna find out. Some asters. I finally got some asters to grow. I did those winter sowing. So yeah, and then we're gonna start looking at some of these geraniums. Like, I am so proud of these geraniums. I grew them all from seed, and it's just, I'm so proud of these. These are apple blossoms. And they're starting to come up everywhere, right? It's an apple blossom. It's white with that kind of pinky center, okay? And then over here, these are some things that still don't have a home, and I need to find a home for them soon, very soon, because they're looking bad. But this, okay, these are the Maverick salmon. Look at the color on those. I mean, it's just gorgeous. It is truly a salmon. I mean, and this pot is doing so well, right? And these are the stars, I think is what these were. Yes, these were the stars. And I mean, they're gorgeous. This is just huge, right? Here, in my poppy pan, I have another Rudbeckia. There's some more Rudbeckia here growing. It's just wild. All right, so then we're gonna go over here to the garden. Now, this is just crazy, okay? Here's another pot of geraniums, another, again, grown from seed. And they're just gorgeous. Over here, I could never figure out what this was. This was Love in a Mist, or Nigella, and it grew, oh, here's some that still, that just grew, right? So that was what's here. I've got, let me just back up and give you kind of a, so in this plant, I've got this Love in a Mist, all of these onions. They're about ready to pick, I think. It's just been too late. Some, I think, Coreopsis that just seeded there. I've got a whole bunch of cucumbers. They're growing like crazy. All those years I planted the cucumber seeds that didn't germinate, they all decided to germinate this year. So it's just a wild mess. And hang on, I see a that needs to get picked. And then over here are just more cucumbers, and look, there are bees everywhere. They're everywhere, all over these cucumbers, pollinating and just doing beautifully. Again, this is just a mass of cucumbers and squash. Oh, look at all the bees. Here's this borage that just grew from, I planted it last year, the year before, and it's everywhere. And the bees are all over it. And look at the size of that bee. Oh my God. But the problem I'm having is that I planted some poor peppers in here and they're just gonna get strangled by these cucumbers. So I don't, look. I mean, there are bees everywhere. And there's a tomato growing in there. So I don't know what to do here, folks. Like, I'm gonna have to sacrifice some of these cucumbers, I think, for the health of these other plants. Over here, here's a tomato just growing in this pot here. Here, oh look, more cucumbers. Here I planted some gomphrena, and it's really pretty, but it's just getting overridden by the cucumbers here. So basically, this is all cucumbers. There are some tomato plants in there. And like I said, oh, there's another cucumber. I'm gonna have to rescue some of these. But this borage is just unbelievable. It's crazy, okay? And in this bed, I planted peppers and again, and some basil. But last year, I had planted some squash seeds here to try to get them to grow up a trellis. And they didn't germinate, nothing happened. So this year, something starts to grow and I'm like, oh, that's a squash, I wonder what that is. I had planted peppers in here, but look at this. Look at these squashes. I mean, they're everywhere. And I actually came in here and did some hand pollinating just to make sure that some of these got germinated. I mean, look, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. They're everywhere. And it's just taken off. Oh, God, another cucumber. I keep seeing cucumbers I need to pick before the day gets going. I mean, they're everywhere. And then this kale, I planted this kale for John and Mel. Hi, John and Mel. There's your dinosaur kale, or Sean and Terry. There's your dinosaur kale. And it's growing. So pretty soon, I think I don't know about harvesting kale, people, so you'll have to look that up. Or ask Mary. Mary, if you happen to watch this, can you answer? Do we harvest as we go, or do we harvest at what time, or what? And then over here is my squash, yellow squash, which are growing like crazy. My zucchini, not so much. I am notoriously bad for growing zucchini. Look, there's another bee in there. I had planted these marigolds here at the end. Excuse my mess here. And then here are my tomatoes. And y'all, I'm just being silly this year in this garden, okay? I'm just gonna let these bad boys grow. I'm not gonna trellis them. I'm just gonna see what happens. I mean, this year, I'm not so much worried about getting stuff out of this garden as I am just seeing what happens if I just let nature do what it's gonna do. And I planted very few things in this garden. I mean, I did plant the squash and I planted the peppers, but nothing else. I'm in this tomato bed, but nothing else. So, and then this bed is totally wasted this year. It's just full of grass, and I really, guys, this year I'm just kind of going with the flow. But look at this thing. I planted this thing full of wildflowers last year, and it's out of control. And what I should have done is staked it, and I really wish I had, but I mean, look at this Rudbeckia. It's just incredible, you know? And it's just, I mean, it just grew from nothing. It's got this coreopsis in here. I can't even get in here. But I do want to show you one thing. Hey, guys. I do want to show you one thing. And I keep trying to move this around a little bit because I planted this right here. These two things. This one and this one here. And it's Tithonia or Mexican sunflower. And I'm really hoping that it grows because everybody says it's just covered with bees. So we're hoping that one grows too. And this is just growing in my mulch. So I'll back up. I mean, this is wild. I mean, it's just wild this year. And I really love it. I really am getting a lot of enjoyment around it. It's just a learning experience. Oh, and one more thing I have to show you. I did some winter sowing, and one of the things that I planted was coleus. This is crazy. And Mom said, just throw some in this little hanger and see if they do anything. I mean, look at these. They're just beautiful. And this is just sitting here, and I feel like I need to put it in something. I don't know. Anyway, so that's a look at the crazy garden this year. It's so much fun.